Everyone, not morning, afternoon. A very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Unit 1 class. Okay. I hope all of you all are keeping fine, doing good. Guys, girls, all of you all, we will start off with what? We'll start off with our lesson as usual. And the last 20 minutes, that is after the break, in the last 20 minutes, we'll move on to our online quiz. Okay. Right. Everybody, guys, girls, everyone, let's get started. Everyone, we start a brand new topic. We have 6 topics in Unit 1, and now we are about to start the third topic. Okay, things are going to get very challenging. Okay, you guys will notice, like I told you at the beginning, AS level is very challenging. It's like the examiners have no mercy on you. Chapter after chapter, it gets harder and harder and harder. Okay, right. So everybody, now tomorrow we will be starting JavaScript. Okay, this is going to be your third programming language. We are done with HTML, we are done with CSS. We are about to start JavaScript. Okay, and then in Unit 1, there's another programming language which you all will learn called SQL. Okay, so there'll be basically 4 programming languages that you all will learn in Unit 1 and 2. Okay, anyway, for now, everybody, can we come down to topic number 3, the online environment? This is a very short tune. I don't think I can complete it today, but a lot of it we can complete today. Okay, can everyone come down to page number, guys, girls, everybody, page number 4. 2 words that you guys have heard a lot. Okay, number 1, we have the internet, and number 2, we have the World Wide Web. Okay, so guys, girls, everybody, when we talk about the internet, we are talking about a massive network, a wide area network, a network that can be accessed across the globe. Okay, thank you. Everybody, when we talk about the internet, we are talking about a massive network that can be accessed no matter where in the world you go. Okay, the internet is nothing but a network. Okay, these routers and switches that connect the whole world together is what we call the internet. It's nothing but a network. Can you all read that first paragraph? Read that first paragraph, you know. It's a global network that connects millions, billions of computers and devices across the world. That is the net. That is the internet. Okay, because devices are connected to each other. Read the next paragraph. People and systems can communicate, as in they can share data, they can access information. Okay, yes, guys online, I'm sorry, I forgot to send this to you all. Okay, can you all keep reading it, guys, that paragraph? Because of the internet, what is possible? Because of the internet, sharing of data between devices, communicating, all this becomes possible. Okay, the internet is made up of components like what? Everyone, can you all read that paragraph? There are cables running across the world underneath oceans, routers, and now satellites are becoming extremely popular. Earlier, it was fiber optic cables in the oceans that were connecting us. But today, it is satellites that are being used to connect us. Okay. On this massive network, you have various services that run. Okay, because the whole world is connected, various services can operate on this infrastructure. Like what? Can you all read it? Email, online gaming, file sharing, and then we have something called the World Wide Web. Its acronym, boys, all of you all, its acronym is what? WWW. Oh, WWW. Okay, let's see what it is all about. Can everyone go through it? So, boys, the World Wide Web is only a service. On this massive network known as the internet, there are many services that run on it. Okay, one of the services is something called a World Wide Web. Okay, keep reading it. That operates on top of the internet or on the internet. If the internet goes down, World Wide Web becomes inaccessible. Okay, nothing complex. Keep reading it. What does it contain? It contains websites. Inside those websites, what do you find? A collection of web pages. Okay. Where are these web pages stored? They are stored on servers. What type of server? Web servers. Servers have different functions. Now you have a print server, web server, application server, authentication server. Okay. The server that holds the web pages are what we call web servers. Okay. Nothing complex. Keep reading it. And how do you access the World Wide Web? Using web browsers. Safari, Chrome, Brave, Edge. You need to use a web browser to access these web servers. Are we good? Okay, nothing complex. Right, keep reading it. The internet is the infrastructure and the World Wide Web is only a system of information. Okay. Then, boys, everyone, read that last paragraph below. Each web server has a unique IP address. Agree with it? Any device that connects to a network has an IP address. Agree? This includes the clients as well as the clients. You guys, when you all connect to a network, automatically you guys all get IP addresses. Just like you all get IP addresses, servers will also have an IP address. Are we all okay with this? Okay, so each web page has something called a URL. A URL is simply an address, a text-based address. Everyone okay with this? So everyone, if I were to take you all to Ikman, everyone look over here. If I were to go to Ikman, okay, and if I were to open up an ad, it would take me to a specific web page. Okay, let's just open up a random ad. Okay, if I were to open up a random ad over here, now this is, everybody, this is the URL, everyone. This is the URL of this particular web page. This is the text-based address. Are we all good? This is the text-based address of this particular web page. Are we all good with this? What do we call text-based address? URL. URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. All good now? Right. Then guys, girls, everybody, you need to understand this. Computers have an IP address now. But you guys, when you all access a server, do you all ever mention the IP address? You all just told me every server, Ikman server has an IP address. Pizza Hut server has an IP address. Instagram server has an IP address. But you guys never mention IP address, right? What do you all mention? You all mention ikman.lk. You all mention the URL, right? You all mention the domain name. Everyone know what domain is, right? Ikman is the domain. Ikman.lk is the domain. Ikman.lk slash electronic slash, I don't know, washing machine for sale is the URL, the address of the page. Okay, ikman.lk is a domain. The URL will be the exact address of a page. You guys never mention IP addresses, right? But in reality, when we learned the 7-layer model, what did we say? Every data packet in its header, what does it have? Did we ever mention data packets containing URLs? We never mentioned, right, guys? We learned the 7-layer OSI model now. In that, we mentioned the header has MAC address, IP address. We never mentioned URL, right? So what happens to the URL and how did the IP address come into the picture? You get it? Okay. Let's see how this works. Everybody, can you come down to domain name server? Everybody come down to domain name server. A user enters the URL into their web browser to access a web page. Okay, everybody? You go to Google Chrome and you type ikman.lk. That's your domain name. Okay, that's your URL. You press enter. The web browser needs to send a request to the web server for the web page. Agree with that, boys? When you request for Ikman, a request needs to be sent to Ikman server saying, you know what, give me the web pages to show this user. Agree now? Your web browser needs to send a request to the server. Okay, keep reading it. But first, the URL must be converted to an IP address. Are we all okay with this? So every time you type an URL, it is going to be converted into a what? It's going to be converted into an IP address. Guys, girls, everyone look here. Tell me, what is easier for you to remember, an IP address or a URL? URL, right? For us, remembering text, letters and numbers is a lot easier than remembering only a number. Isn't it? That's why we have URLs. URLs are solely for the benefit of us, for us to remember the address. Is it clear? But in reality, the URL is not used. The URL is converted into an IP address. It has to be translated. Okay, so keep reading it. To do this, your web browser has to talk to whom? Has to talk to somebody called domain name server. Your domain name server, what does it contain? It contains all the URLs or all the domain names and their respective IP addresses. Everybody okay with this, sir? Sounds good? The domain name server contains dialog.lk, ikman.lk, facebook.com, all the URLs and their respective IP addresses. So keep reading it. This is a computer. Read that paragraph. This is a computer that stores a list of domain names and their respective IP addresses. As there are over 1 billion different domain names, there are many DNS servers. We now know what DNS stands for, right? Your domain name server. Okay. So what happens over here? The web browser extracts the domain name from your URL. You type ikman.lk, no? It takes ikman.lk and then sends it to whom? It needs the IP address, no? So who does it send the request to? It sends a request to your DNS server. It sends a request to your domain name server. What will your domain name server reply with? With the relevant IP address. Your domain name server will tell your web browser, okay, you want Ikman, no? This is the IP address for Ikman. The IP address is then sent back to your web browser. Now data packets start getting formed. Are we all okay with this? Now it knows the IP address now. Right. Can you all read it to yourselves now? You didn't understand. Give me a second now. Everybody, you type ikman.lk. Ikman.lk is your URL. You need the IP address for it now. So your web browser will send the request first to something called DNS. DNS is what? Domain name server. Domain name server has all the IP addresses for all the domain names. Is it clear? So the DNS will reply with the IP address of Ikman. You get it? Your domain name server will say, okay, you want Ikman? This is the IP address for Ikman. It will send the IP address back to your web browser. Now your web browser will start forming data packets. It now has the IP address now. Everyone get it? But what if the domain name server does not have the IP address? What if I launched a website today? Ikman.lk has been there for many years. Daras has been there for many years. The IP address is there in the domain name server. What if today I published a website and right now he goes and accesses it? My IP address is not going to be there in the domain name server, is it? It's a brand new website. The domain name server wouldn't have been updated, right? Those possibilities are there. Sometimes you can request for a URL and the domain name server can say, you know what, I don't know the IP address for this. Very much possible. Then what happens? We'll see now. Okay, keep reading it. If it can, it sends a matching IP address back to the web browser. This is normal scenario. IP address is available, it will send back the IP address. If it cannot find the domain name, it sends it on to another DNS server. Everybody okay with this? If the first DNS server cannot find an IP address, it sends it to the next DNS server. If the next DNS server cannot find it, it goes on to the next DNS server. Is it clear? It will go on from DNS server to DNS server until it can find an IP address. Can you guys read it? At the next level, so that it can search its database. Okay? If the first DNS server cannot find it, next DNS server. That also cannot find it, next DNS server. Until it reaches something called a root DNS server. Everyone, you know what is a root DNS server? Everyone, can you read the next paragraph and then I'll show it to you all? Read the next paragraph. The name request, this request will keep on going. Okay, from one DNS to another DNS. Okay, as far as the top level DNS. I'll tell you what this top level DNS means. Okay. If no result is still found, we went from DNS server to DNS server to DNS server. Kavish, are you with me? But we could not find an IP address. What does it mean? Means that there is no URL like this. The user has made a mistake in the URL. Is it clear? After going through many DNS servers, if you still could not find an IP address, it means the user is requesting for a URL that does not exist. He has made a mistake in his URL. Are we good? Can you guys read it? When if no result is found, a message will be sent back to the web browser to state that the web page could not be found. You guys have all seen these messages, right? When you request for a web page where there is with a wrong URL, you'll get a message. We could not find this. Failed to load. Okay. Right. Everybody, look here. What do I mean by root level? Everyone, have you all noticed domain names? They end with a domain type. Listen to my words carefully. What is the domain name? Domain name is basically the name of the website. Ikman.lk is the domain name. You have domain types. You know what are domain types? Ikman.lk. .lk is one domain type. Give me other domain types you all know of. .org, organizations. Another one can be .com. .com is our commercial sites. This is the most common one. .com is another domain type. If it's a government site, .gov. If it's a Sri Lankan site, I said no. If it is a, what do you call, an educational site, they will end with .edu, isn't it? If it is a site that belongs only to India, that is only for Indian citizens, it will end with .in. You get it? Then organization I took. Okay, these are different domain types. Everybody okay with this? So now everyone look at me please. You have requested for a URL. Step number 1, what happens? Your web browser will send that URL to your domain name server asking for its IP address. If the domain name server knows it, immediately response is given back. If the domain name server doesn't know it, what does it do? It forwards this request to the next domain name server, to a bigger one. If that domain name server also doesn't know, it will forward it to another domain name server, even bigger. Is it clear? Ultimately, at the end of these domain name servers, we have root domain name servers. We call them root level. You know what do root domain name servers do? At the root, at the end, we have domain name servers that are responsible only for one particular domain type. Did you get what I told you? At the end of this hierarchy, we go from domain name server to domain name server to domain name server. Now, at the end of it, the highest domain name server we had is what we call root. It's the beginning domain name server. It's the end of it all. Not beginning, it's the end. You know what are these root domain name servers? Root domain name servers are domain name servers that deal with one type of domain only. So you will have a server that has all the IP addresses for all the .lk domain. Another root domain name server will have all the IP addresses for .com sites. Another root DNS will have all the IP addresses for .edu domains. You get my point, guys? Everybody okay with this? This is the final domain, or this is the final DNS server that you will be dealing with. Okay, if the first DNS could not find an IP address, second also couldn't find it, third couldn't find it, ultimately you will be put onto the root server. Meaning you will be put onto a server that deals with one type of domain only. If that domain server also couldn't find an IP address, then definitely you have made a mistake. You get it? Then what happens? Request will come back saying, you know what, you have made a mistake. Now, everybody here, to reach the root domain name server, do you agree it's going to take more time? Agree? You have requested for a site. First domain name server didn't have it. Second DNS didn't have it. Third DNS didn't have it. Now the root has it. Don't you agree it's going to take some time before the root replies to you? Guys, are you with me? It's going to take some time, right? Before the root DNS server replies to you. You're going to have to wait for some time, right? So, you know what happens? Let's say, for example, I have launched a website called platinumacademy.lk. He is the first visitor to come onto that site. Is it clear? So now, isn't his wait going to be longer? Because the first DNS server will not have the IP address of my site. It's a brand new site now. First one will not have it. Second one will not have it. Third one will also not have it. Finally, he's put onto the root DNS server. Root DNS server says, okay, for platinum.lk, this is the IP address. Now the IP address will come back to him now. When it comes back to him, it will get saved in the first domain name server. Did you hear what I told you all? When the root DNS replies, it will come back again. It will go to the third, second, first. When it comes back to the first domain name server, the domain name server will then save this IP address. Platinumacademy.lk's IP address is this, and it will save it. Now, when he requests for it, does he have to go through this long journey again? Does he have to go through this long journey again? He doesn't have to go through this long journey again, because now the first DNS has been updated with this new IP address. Everybody, can you all follow my words? You get my point? Now, who owns these DNS servers? These DNS servers are owned by whom? The government? No. So DNS servers, guys, all of y'all, your internet service provider will decide which DNS server to put you on. You get it, guys? Your DNS server, which server you are put on to, is decided by your internet service provider. Everybody okay with this? Your internet service provider, SLT or Dialog or Mobitel, will decide which DNS server to put you on. Everybody okay with this? So shall we go through this journey again? What is the journey, guys? When you type a domain name, what does your web browser do? What does your web browser do, guys? Your web browser will send a request to the first DNS server asking for the what? Asking for the IP address. We'll assume the DNS server has it, We'll assume the DNS server has it. Then what does the DNS server do? It will respond with the IP address. Then from that point onwards, application layer, then presentation layer, session layer, then that will all start. Is it clear? It got the IP address, so now it knows how to form data packets, it can get started. We'll say DNS server said, you know what, we don't have an IP address for this URL. Then what happens? Your request is then forwarded to the next DNS server. Is it clear? Next DNS server also doesn't know it. Your request will be forwarded to the root DNS server. The root DNS server says, you know what, I have an IP address for this. The IP address will be then sent to the second DNS server and then to the first DNS server. What will the first DNS server do before giving it to you? It will save it. It will save this new IP address and then give it back to you. So next time when users request for it, no need to go through this long journey. It's already there in the first DNS server. Everybody okay with this? Is this journey all good? Okay. This is how domain name servers work. So guys, what do hackers do? Do you all remember in O-level, in A-level, we didn't learn it. In O-level, do you all remember learning something called farming attacks? Anyone remembers anything about farming? What is farming? Exactly. Automatically redirecting you to a fake site, right? So how do farming attacks happen? The hacker goes and modifies the DNS server. Everybody okay with this? What happens in farming? Farming is an attack where while you are trying to access a legitimate site, you automatically get redirected to a fake site. And you have no idea you're on a fake site. You put your username and password, it goes to the hacker. Is it clear? So how do they do this? They go and hack the DNS server. In the DNS server, what do? They say for daraz.lk, they go and modify the IP address. But daraz.lk don't send to this IP address, they put a different IP address over there. Is it clear? So users without knowing, they automatically get redirected to fake sites. Now do we understand the function of DNS? Okay, this is what we call domain name server. Okay, I'm trying to show you all an example, but I don't have a login now. I'm trying to show you all an example, but yeah, I can't show it. Never log into it. Everybody, do you all understand this now? This is the function of your domain name server. It is responsible for finding or giving the relevant IP address for the URL that you requested. If it doesn't have it, what does it do? It will then send the request to the next server. That server doesn't have it, the next server, until it reaches the root server. The root server are servers that contain IP addresses for a specific domain type. Okay, all right. I want to tell you all one more word. Bear with me, okay? Because this is a word the examiner uses. Everybody, have you all heard about cache memory? Anyone knows about cache memory in your laptop, in your desktop, in your smartphone? Cache memory is a small amount of memory. What does it contain? It contains programs or data that you frequently access. Everyone okay with this? Try your best not to get confused, okay? What is cache memory? Cache memory contains programs or data that the user is frequently accessing. Okay? It's a very small memory. It only contains data and programs that you frequently access. Okay? Right. When you request for a domain, when you request for an IP address that's not there in the first domain name server, what happens? You will be put onto the second server, then the third server, then the root server. Is it clear? When the root server replies, what happens? The first server will give you the IP address and the first server will also store it now. The first server will also now store this IP address now. Sometimes we say the first server caches this data. You know what caches mean? It now keeps it now stores it in its server. So if anybody else needs it, it's right there. They don't have to go all the way up to the root server. You get it? So if you all heard this word cache, you all now know what it means. Cache basically means they are taking this data and storing it on their server. Okay? C-A-C-H-E. Okay? We don't spell it the normal way we spell cache. Okay? Everyone, Control Shift Escape. Look here. If I come into details, where is it? Details. Can you guys see this over here? L1 cache, L2 cache, L3 cache. Can you all see the size? Very, very small. It's in MB. It's a very small memory. It's inside my processor itself. And it only stores data and programs that I frequently access. So when I tell to cache something, what does it mean? It means put it in the storage so that I can access it quickly. Is it clear? So domain name servers also for new IP addresses, what do? They cache it. Okay, cache it means they bring it to their first server and keep it. So anybody else who requests it, they don't have to go through this long journey. It's available in the first server itself. Everybody okay with this? Sounds good? Okay, we'll see. All right, I'm going to close this then. So everybody, this is how domain name server works. This is how the internet and the World Wide Web work. How do they work? When you type a URL, that URL has to be translated in IP address. Who will handle this IP address translation for you? Who will handle IP address translation for you? DNS, domain name server. Okay, you all should be able to explain. If the first domain name server doesn't have it, the request will be forwarded the second, the third, until it reaches the root domain name server. Okay, right. Then guys, girls, we are going to move away from there. You all know about DNS now. We are now going to move on to features of the World Wide Web. Here, I don't have a lot to tell you all. Okay, can everyone come down over here? Features of the World Wide Web. Everybody, in the World Wide Web, we have something called hypertext information. Hypertext information is basically used to connect the whole World Wide Web together. What do I mean by connector? You can go from one web page to another through hypertext. Everyone know about it, right? We had something called hyperlinks. Okay, hyperlinks is hypertext. Text where if you were to click on it, it would take you to a different destination. So how is the whole worldwide connected? It's connected through these hypertext only. You go on to Ickman. How do you navigate in Ickman? Using hypertext, right? Agree with me, guys? How are we navigating in Ickman? I saw this ad. I want to know who the seller is. I click on this. This is an example of hypertext. This is a hyper image. Okay, I click on this. It takes me to another page. And for example, I want to know more. I want to know more details about them. I can click on this. It then opens up something else for me. Okay, I click on this. It does something else for me. I click on this. It opens up a different page for me. Hypertext is basically what's used to connect the whole World Wide Web together. Okay, right. Can you guys read it now to yourselves? Hypertext is displayed on a web page. It is basically a link to another destination. It can be a web page, it can be a PDF document, or it can be even a video, audio, whatever. But basically it takes you somewhere else. It gives you something else. Okay? Hypertext is one of the key underlying features of the World Wide Web. Okay? And many web pages are written in a language called HTML. This we know. The hypertext information system feature of the World Wide Web makes it easier for users to navigate. Agree? How do we move from page to page? Do we ever use the back button and forward button? Guys, you guys, when you all are surfing on the internet, we rarely use the back and forward button, right? Instead, what do we do? What do we use? We use hypertext, right? To get around a web page, to get around a website, we keep clicking on links. Isn't it? You click on this, it takes you somewhere else. You click on that, it brings you back. Isn't it? Okay. We rarely ever use forward and backward. Yeah. I rarely ever use these two. I mostly use the links to navigate around a web page. Okay, right. What are we talking about? Features of the World Wide Web. We're talking about features of websites. Read the next one and see if you all agree with it. Cross-platform. Is the World Wide Web accessible from many devices? Yes or no? Yes. Smartphones can access it. Laptops can access it. Tabs can access it. Smart TVs can access it. Isn't it? It's a cross-platform. It's cross-platform. Okay. Feature number 2. Feature number 3, open standards. The internet has standards. Everybody okay with this? All web pages have to follow what protocol? I taught you all. Yes. Basic protocol, all web pages have to follow. Very nice. HTTP. If the website is dealing with sensitive information, then they have to follow HTTPS. Agree with this? Can anybody use these protocols? Can any website owner use these protocols? Of course, yes. It's open. Whoever wants to use it can use it. Open standards. There are standards and it's open for anyone to use it. Okay? Can you guys read open standards? Open standards are rules that make sure different technologies can work and communicate properly with each other. The client and server have a smooth communication with each other because of certain protocols. And these protocols are open for anyone to use, not to modify, to use. Okay? These standards are free for anyone to use. The Internet Society is a group that helps manage and look after these open standards for the World Wide Web. Okay, I took another example. I took it for you all. You all read the next one until I load this. I don't think I took it. I think distributed. Sorry, can you all read distributed, please? Everyone read distributed below. Okay, across the globe, it can be accessed. Servers across the globe are a part of it. Okay. So far, what do we know? Features of the World Wide Web: hypertext, cross-platform, distributed, open standards. All of your last one is what? Dynamic. It keeps changing. It keeps getting updated. Agree with this, no? You take a simple example. Take a shopping store below. Is it always the same every day? No. A shopping store keeps changing its information. It's dynamic. Okay? Every day, content changes. Not every day, every second, content changes. Okay? Then guys, girls, everybody, we are in today's world, we are dealing with Web 2.0. What is the big difference between the two? Read and tell me, Velu. Adil, all of you, what's the big difference between Web 1.0 and Web 2.0? Number of users. Okay, but that's not the main difference. Simply read. Read only, very close. Meaning Web 1.0 was what? Was it user generated or there were only certain individuals generating information? Certain individuals, right? Web 1.0 was a place where you could only gather information. Only certain organizations are publishing it and you can take it and you can either read it or take it. But Web 2.0 allows you also to submit information. You can also be a member and a participant. No. So you had like Wikipedia, for example. You can only read content from Wikipedia. You weren't allowed to change it. But in today's world, you can host your own website. You can put your own information. Or think about social media platforms. You can put your own posts. You can comment on other people's posts. These features were not there in Web 1.0. Okay, Web 1.0 was more informing only, no participating. Web 2.0 allows you to also participate, for you also to contribute. Can you guys go through it? Web 2.0 is the second version of the web that developed. This version of the web evolved into a much larger number of users participating and contributing content of the web. That's why it became known as the participative social web. You can be a reader, you can also be a contributor. All good? Okay. Sounds good? Right. Then everybody, those are the features of the World Wide Web. Okay. So what did we do today? We saw the function of a domain name server. We saw features of the World Wide Web. We saw the difference between the internet and the World Wide Web. And now we move on to something called static and dynamic web pages. The name literally tells you what it is, right? Static means what? Fixed, doesn't change, always the same. Dynamic means always changes. What did you say? yeah, it changes. It keeps changing. Okay, varies. Can you guys read it? A static web page shows fixed content that looks the same every time you open it. Are we good? This information is pre-written using HTML and doesn't change unless the developer manually edits the page. Okay, so guys, girls, if you go to daras.lk, certain parts of daras are static. Like what? Which parts of daras will rarely change? Might change once a year, once a month. Now this home page, would you call it static? Would you call this home page static, everyone? No, right? The content always changes. Newer products are always added. But if I come to about daras, what do you think about this? How often do you think they keep changing this? This changes maybe what? Once a year, once in 2 years, once in 3 years, isn't it? So this is an example of a static web page. But their home page, their products page, that's a dynamic web page. Okay, Kavish, are you with me? Okay, can you guys read it? Benefit number one, it loads quickly. Since the content doesn't change, the page loads quickly. Okay. Benefit number two, easy to create. Static web pages use only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. So easier to create. These languages are much easier to learn. Okay. Benefit number three, cheap to host. Okay. You just have to store only your web pages over there. Nothing to do with processing, nothing to do with loading data from databases. All that is not there. Okay. And number four, it's secure because there's basically nothing for the hackers to hack, right? Are you collecting customer data or payment data or nothing as such, right? It's always the same data. There's nothing for them to hack into. You get it? Okay, so it's a lot more secure. Then guys, girls, come up to dynamic web pages. These are web pages where the content automatically changes. So everybody, if I go on to booking.com, based on my location, everybody, if I were to go on to booking.com, based on my location, based on my previous purchases and all that, content will change. Everybody okay with this? So it has seen I have been showing interest in these properties. So now it's showing me, are you still interested in these properties? If you go there, it will show you something else. Everybody okay with this? Okay, so this is an example of a dynamic web page. The content changes based on the user. Okay, not everybody sees the same thing. Okay, it's greeting me by my name. Everyone saw this. Okay, it has identified the currency I'm dealing with. Okay, right. Let's move down. Can you guys read it? A new word is coming up for y'all. It often uses something called server-side scripts. We didn't learn server-side scripts. We are going to learn it shortly. Server-side script basically means what? Scripts or coding that will be processed by whom? That will be processed by the server. We haven't learned it yet, but for now you all can remember it, right? Server-side scripts are basically scripts or coding that the server will process, not the client. I'll show you all. Okay, keep reading it. So example can be your social media feed, a news website, a booking site, a shopping site. These have dynamic web pages. Look at your benefits. Personalized content. Didn't that happen just now? When I went on to booking.com, it greeted me by my name. It showed me the currency that I'm using. It showed me properties that I have shown interest towards. All good. Okay, read the next one. Easier updates. What do you mean by that? Very good. What is the difference between what I said and you said? Who said the answer? I said easy updates. You said it means can update easily. What's the difference between what you and I said? Explain easy updates to me. Read first. I'll take a real life example for y'all. Let's take Life Mobile. Boys, look here. Life Mobile, they must be having, I don't know, maybe 1,000 products, 2,000 products, 100,000 products. I don't know. Look at this. I'll open up 3-4 products and show you all. Okay. So we'll take watches below. We'll go with the Apple Watch below. Okay. So I'll open product number 1, product number 2, product number 3. Do you agree they are all 3 different web pages? Boys, look here below. They are all 3 different web pages. Agree? Agree that the URL is also different for each and every one of them? URL is also different for each and every one of them. Okay, boys, girls, everyone, look at this. Boys, look here. Let's say, for example, I want to add one more payment method over here. Let's say I want to add, I don't know, HSBC. HSBC is already there. I want to add one more payment method over here. If I were to do that, do I have to go manually to every single web page and do that? Or do I just do it on the database and it gets updated on all the products? Did you understand my question? I want to add one more payment method over here. Okay, I want to add one more payment method over here. And that new payment method should apply across all the products. This is a dynamic web page, no? Will I have to go to every single product and put the design box and the price and will I have to do that manually? No, I just do it on the layout. I just do it on the layout only. On the template, I do it. And that will automatically get applied to all your products. Everybody, you get my point? I'll give you guys another example. Let's say I want all the product headings to have a red color font. I want to update my site where all the product headings become red in color. In a static web page, I'll have to manually go to every single web page and change it to red color. In a dynamic web page, what happens? All your products are connected to a database. You simply go to your database or you simply go to your layout and say product headings should be red color. When you say product heading should be red color, what happens? All your web pages will now have a red color heading. You guys get my point? Okay. Does it make sense, everyone? Okay, that's what they mean over here. Okay, easier updates. Easy updates, can you guys read? Content can be changed automatically from a database without editing every single page. You make a change on the layout, you make a change in the database, all the connected products will get updated. Okay, read the next one. Interactive. Do you all agree with this? Dynamic web pages can be interactive. Users can log in, users can post comments. Okay, I'm going to make it even more interactive for you all. Look at this. If you go to booking.com, you have put your location, you have put your date, you have put the number of people, and you say search. Okay, now based on your requirements, it's finding data for you. And it's saying, you know what, these are all your properties. I can further interact with this. I can say, you know what, I only want properties that have a swimming pool. I just click on that. Now what does it do? It goes through the database. Now everybody, when I say, untick this. When I click on swimming pool, where is the processing happening? Where is the processing happening? On the client device or on the server? It's happening on the server. That's why we said what? Where is it? Server-side scripts. Server-side scripts means what? It does the processing not on my device. It does the processing on the server. Okay? So everyone look here. It's more interactive. I can say, you know what? I want only hotels. I don't want resorts and villas and bungalows. I want only hotels. Again, it processes and gives me this data. You get it? I want only places where I don't have to pay before coming. No prepayment. Again, processes, gives me these results. Everybody, do you all see what I'm talking about? Okay, you can get what? Read this again, guys. It becomes interactive. Based on what the user wants, it will respond. And then next, what do we have? Connected to a database. Not to a database, it's connected to databases. Okay, it's showing me all the hotels in a particular area that has the filters that I want. Okay. If I go to Life Mobile also, the website connects the database and then shows me all the products Life Mobile is selling. If I go to Daraz, it connects to Daraz's database and shows me all the products Daraz is selling. Okay. Everybody okay with this? What are your drawbacks with dynamic web pages? What are your drawbacks with dynamic? More risk, as in? Sorry? Why do you mean more risky? Guys, in terms of construction, which one is more difficult, static or dynamic? Dynamic is obviously a lot more difficult to construct. You need to know PHP and Python, and you need to set up a database. Is it clear? It's a lot more expensive. Setup cost is very high. Maintenance cost is also going to be very high. You need to, what do you call? Keep the database running. Servers need to be running. Okay, next. What's another problem you can run into? Processing is done where? Processing, I told you now, it's done on the server, right? What if there are a lot of users on your server? Your server is going to not crash, slow down, right? If it gets really bad, it's going to crash. Your server is going to slow down, isn't it? If you have many users, everybody, if you have many users on booking.com applying various filters, your server is going to definitely slow down. Is it clear? So you're entirely responsible for the traffic that comes to your site because processing is done on the server. You need to ensure you have enough resources to deal with a large number of traffic because processing is done on your server. In static web pages, processing is done on the client's device itself. Your server's performance doesn't matter a lot. But in server side, what do you call it, dynamic web pages, processing is done on your server. So you need to ensure you have enough resources available to deal in case traffic increases. Everyone okay with this? Okay. Then everybody, somebody said security. You said security. Why? You will be asking users for what? For their login details. You might be asking them for their delivery details, for their card details. Only in the dynamic side, you ask for these details. So you need to ensure proper encryption is being maintained. Okay. Right. So everybody, we have seen static and we have seen dynamic. Can you all move down to the next one? Client-side scripting versus server-side scripting. What do you mean by client-side scripting? This is code that runs on the user's device. HTML web pages, CSS, JavaScript, they run on the client's device. They are executed on the client's device. Okay, can you guys read that? Client-side scripting means the code runs on the user's device, usually inside the web browser. So normally client-side scripting controls the appearance of your web page. Okay. So examples of client-side languages are what? JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Read how it works. When you open About Us web page, your web browser will download the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. And it will be executed by your web browser itself. Okay. That's what we call client-side scripting. Okay. Then boys, girls, the next one is the opposite of it is server-side scripting. First go through the benefits. It is fast because it doesn't need to keep talking to the server. It's executed on your device itself now. Interactivity is possible, but it's not the best. Using HTML, can you create forms? Can you create animations? Using HTML, you can, right, everyone? Using HTML, can we create forms? We can. Can we collect data using HTML? We can. We can. Okay. It allows, not the best, a certain amount of interactivity is possible. Less server load because it's executing on your device, not on the server. Transparency, agree with that? Can you view your HTML code? Yes or no? You can, right, guys? All of you all do this, right? In your class, what do you all do? Sometimes you all right click on your web page and say what? View page source. You can literally see the code. Okay. Limitations, less secure. As a developer, what is your risk? Users can see my coding. Okay. Another limitation is browser dependent. Okay. The web page may not load the same in all web browsers. Then come down to server-side scripting. This is where the coding is executed on the server. Read this. Server-side scripting means the code runs on the web server before the web page is sent to the user's browser. Is it clear? It is used to create, process, and manage data before showing the final web page. So everybody, booking.com is definitely using what we call server-side scripting. Based on what I tell it, the server processes it and then sends me results. Are we okay with this? Okay. Read how it works, guys. When you request a web page, the server will run a script. It will run some code. It will then retrieve data or update data based on whatever you have told it to do. So for example, when you log on to Facebook, the server will check your username and password. Or when you're on booking.com, the server will check the filters that you have applied. Based on those filters, the server will respond with data. Okay. We call this server-side scripting. Look at your benefits. Secure for whom? Secure for whom? The user or developer? Secure for the developer. The developer, his code is not visible to users. Users can't see how his code is working. Okay? It is powerful. It can handle large databases, user accounts. It's dynamic. It can submit data based on who you are, just like how booking.com, what do you call, logged me in, greeted me by my name, showed me the preferred currency, showed me locations that I'm actually interested in. Okay? Limitations, guys. It can be slow, especially if the server is busy. Okay, if the server is busy, you're going to have to wait. Okay. It can't work offline. It needs to continuously keep talking to the server. Are we good? So everybody, we have seen client-side scripting. We have also seen server-side scripting. Okay. With that, then everybody, we have come to the end of topic 3, part 1. Okay, we have come to an end over here as well. Right, everybody, should I do a few questions then? I have noted down some questions I want to do with you all. Everybody. Can we have a look at topic 3, part 1, question 1, 2, 3? Okay, question 1, shall we attempt, everybody? This particular topic 3, part 1, the same tutor. All right, topic 3, part 1, question number 1. Guys, girls, everybody. Hilmi Megat has a personal website. Boys, Hilmi Megat has a personal website. Hilmi uses the website to tell people about the places that he has traveled to. The website's domain name is www.hilmimegat.com and the IP address is so. This is the IP address of the server that has this website's information. When someone wants to visit the website, they enter the domain name into their browser address bar. Describe how the connection is made. Adil, how is the connection made? What's happening over there? Yes, guys, girls, tell me below. Okay, I'll give you all a start. The web browser will now take over. He pressed enter now. He typed hilmimegat.com and pressed enter. Now what happens? Sends what? Sends a request to the DNS server asking for the IP address of this domain name. Okay, the web browser will send a request to the DNS server requesting for the IP address of, should I type this full name? The web browser will send a request to DNS server requesting for the IP address of www.hilmi-megat.com. Okay, go on. If the first DNS server has the IP address, what will it do? It will send it back to the web browser. Okay. If the first DNS server has the relevant IP address, it would send it back to the web browser, and then the web browser would know it would send it back to the web browser, and then the web browser would be able to connect to this server. Okay. If the first DNS server does not have it, then what happens? It will forward this request to the next DNS server. I think we're going to run out of space. Okay, after we'll check the marking scheme. If the first DNS server does not have it, it would forward the request to the next DNS server. Okay, until the request reaches a root DNS server. Once an IP address is found, it is returned back to the web browser. It is sent. It is returned back to the web browser. Those who are done, look at question 1 marking scheme also. Everybody moving down to question number 2 in the same tutor. It says Gathi's blog and the cloud storage sites are a part of the World Wide Web. One of the main features of the World Wide Web is hypertext. Okay, explain what hypertext is. Everybody, come on. So everybody, what is hypertext, guys? Is it ordinary text? Is it something special? It is special, right? It has something different in it. You can say this is text. This is text where if clicked, boys, if clicked, what does it do? Forwards or takes the user to a different destination, right? This is text where if clicked, it would direct the user, or it would direct the user to a different URL file, to a different URL file or section within a web page. Within a web page. Its purpose is for what? To make what possible? They're giving you 3 marks now. It is used to make navigation around a website easier. It is used to make navigation around a website easier. I'm just going to have a look at the marking scheme to see if there's anything else I could say to get those 3 marks. It says over here, boys, can I focus here? It is used to form the World Wide Web. Okay, these links connecting to each other is what forms the World Wide Web. Or it is used to connect the World Wide Web together. It is used to connect the World Wide Web together. Boys, are you all done? Okay, right. Let's do the third one also, and then we'll move on to another tute. Everybody. The third question says, Tanvik makes and sells decorative candles. He wants to expand his business, boys, by creating a website for online sales. Tanvik's website has an IP address and a domain name. Explain why a domain name is needed. We know why IP addresses are needed, no? Why do we need domain names? Okay, you can say domain names are easier for humans to remember and refer to. You can say since domain names contain text, they are a lot easier. They are a lot easier for humans to refer to and remember. Okay. The marking scheme also mentions one more answer. It says, when we search for a website on a search engine, what do? We search by words, right? We put keywords, right? Isn't it? So when we put keywords, it can find domains that contain those keywords, isn't it? Okay, so you can even mention over here, users search the World Wide Web, using keywords or using words. Using words, we'll say using words. So when domain names, so since domain names contain letters in them, discovering them becomes easier. Everybody okay with this? Okay, then everybody, I want to try out question number topic 2 part 4. 1, 2, 3. I don't think we can do all of them. One is a very long question. Topic 2 part 4 question 1. Topic 2 part 4, please. I'm closing this now. Topic 2 part 4. Can we all have a look at question number 1, everybody? Boys. It says over here, the ZigBee devices uses IP version 6 protocol. The PC uses IP version 4 protocol, IP version 4. Describe how IP version 6 addresses differ from IP version 4 addresses. IP version 4 has 32, IP version 6 has 128 bits. Okay. IP version 4 uses a total of 32 bits, while IP version 6 uses a total of 128 bits in displaying its address. Okay, and so who can accommodate a large number of addresses? IP version 6. And so IP version 6 is able, what are you waiting for? So note it down somewhere there. It's going to be blank forever. Okay, and so IP version 6 is able to accommodate a larger number of devices than IP version 4. Any other difference you would like to mention? IP version 6 uses hexadecimal and IP version 4 uses decimal numbers, denary. Okay, Akash, give me a second. Also, in IP version 6, the values are separated using colons. Now, IP version 6 colons, IP version 4 is dots, periods. Okay, we can note that also down. You can say IP version 4 uses decimal numbers along with periods, while IP version 6 uses the hexadecimal number system along with colons. Okay. Which one directly supports encryption? IP version 6 is able to directly support encryption, while IP version 4 is unable to directly support encryption. Or you can say IP version 6 has better security features than IP version 4. Okay, question number 2. In the meantime, guys, can you also have a look at the marking scheme, please? I'm also looking at it. Anything that we never ever thought about? Let's see. Question 1, it says, yeah, our answer is all pretty much there. Okay, right. IP version 2. Most internet traffic uses IP version 4, but this is being replaced by IP version 6. Give 2 reasons why I give. You're getting only 2 marks. Don't need to describe. Reasons why IP version 6 is replacing IP version 4. Sorry? Why is IP version 6 replacing IP version 4? Okay, able to accommodate more users. Wait 1 second. IP version 6 is able to accommodate a larger number of devices. Okay, IP version 6 has built-in, or IP version 6 supports better security. What is the other one you told me? Yeah, better security, no? Anything else? Which one operates more efficiently or faster? IP version 6, IP version 4 needs to be translated. Okay. IP version 6 addressing operates faster than IP version 4 since there is no translation involved. Boys, question number 3 then. Question number 3. The router in figure 1 acts as a DHCP server. Okay, everyone know what DHCP stands for? No. Dynamic host configuration protocol. What does it do? What does the DHCP server do? Provides IP addresses. Very good. It provides IP addresses for connected devices. Okay, so normally when you connect to the internet, DHCP server through the ISP gives you an IP address through the DHCP server. But when you connect to a local area network, your router gives you an IP address. Okay, they basically tell you there, no? It allocates IP addresses to devices. IP addresses can be static or dynamic. Explain why the printer should be allocated a static address. Why should the printer always have a static IP address? Everybody, when I explain static IP addresses, I remember taking the printer as an example also. Why do we give a static IP address for the printer? Reconnect, or you mean reconfigure. When the printer powers off and powers on, if its IP address changes, what do you have to do? You have to go to every computer and enter the new IP address, right? You have to reconfigure it, isn't it? But if it has static IP address, even if the power goes off and comes on again, IP address won't change. You don't have to manually go and configure every single computer. Everybody okay with this? Shall we write this down? You can say, when the printer has a static IP address, configuring of the printer on user devices will have to be done only once. Okay, configuring of the printer on user devices will have to be done only once. Okay, there would be no need to, what do you call, reconfigure the printer settings on each user's device, since the printer's IP address will always remain the same. Will always remain the same. Then we are talking about a user's personal device, tablet computer. Explain why the tablet should be allocated a dynamic address. Shall we say the tablet is a personal device? Okay, why secure? What do you mean by secure? No. So everybody, why do you have on your smartphone a dynamic IP address? Why didn't you guys set a static IP address? Security is true. If you had the same IP address always, it becomes easier for your device to be hacked because it's always the same IP address. Okay, it's always the same IP address. So hacking it becomes a little easier because your IP address is never ever changing. That's true. Give me another problem. Do you use your tablet when it's a personal device? Do you always use it in the same network? Do you use it only at home? No. You'll use it at home, you'll use it outside, you'll use it in a cafe, you'll use it in a restaurant, you'll use it in your cousin's house, your friend's house, you know, in various places you will use it. What's the risk you can run into? Data, now we already spoke about that problem now. You have a fixed IP address and you're going to different locations and connecting. Isn't there a possibility that you come to a network where somebody else is already using your IP address? Isn't that possibility there? You come to Platinum and before you connected, others have already connected. And one of those users is already using the IP address that you have set as static. Isn't that possible? It is possible. Then when you connect to the network, what happens? What will happen? Can two devices have the same IP address? No. So what will the network do to your device? Because you joined second. What will the network do to you? What will the router do to you? Guys, you're connecting to a network where the IP address that your device is having, somebody else is already using. So what will the network do to you? The network will not allow you to join. The network will say what? Network address conflict. There is an IP address conflict. You're joining with an IP address that somebody has already taken. Another device is already using. So you can't join the network. There'll be a conflict here. It won't allow you to join the network. You can mention that problem, or you can even mention the security problem. Okay, I'll go with which one? I'll say since the tablet will be used on a variety of networks, there is a chance that the tablet might be denied access to a network since a device in that network is already using an IP address similar to the tablet device. This is very much possible. You guys get it? At home, you had an IP address. Now you disconnected it. Now that IP address might go to another device. Okay. Now you come to Platinum and you try to connect to Platinum's network. Somebody else is already using that IP address because you disconnected. Now it was given to somebody else. And now you're unable to connect because this IP address is already being used by somebody else. So it says there's an IP address conflict. It won't allow you to connect it. Okay. Right, guys, girls, with that, we're going to start the quiz then. Can you all please take corners? Don't sit next to each other. Guys online, I'm going to share the link on the group. Okay, you all finish this. I'll load the link first.